Okay, so there's this phrase you've probably heard a million times by now. Seriously, it's everywhere, and it pretty much sums up our entire digital age.
And yeah, it's a super powerful statement, isn't it? You see it plastered all over business articles, tech keynotes, you name it. It's short, it's catchy, and it just nails how important this new resource has become.
But, beyond just being a catchy slogan, what does that actually mean, especially when we're talking about the biggest engine of change right now, artificial intelligence? Let's really dig in and see what's going on under the hood. All right, so to really wrap our heads around this, we got to stop thinking of data as just, a bunch of spreadsheets and numbers. We need to see it for what it really is in the 21st century. It's fuel. And I mean that literally. Think about it. An AI, or more specifically, a machine learning model, which is the brain behind pretty much all the AI you interact with, it doesn't just know things. It has to learn from examples. And where do all those examples come from? You guessed it, data. If you don't have a massive, constant stream of data, that whole AI engine just grinds to a halt.
So, following that logic, if data is the fuel, what happens when you pour a ton more of it into the tank? Well, the crazy explosion we've seen in AI performance lately gives us a pretty clear answer. The more good fuel you've got, the faster and more powerful that engine becomes.
And this comparison right here, it tells the whole story. Back in the day, early AI wasn't just struggling because computers were slow. A huge part of the problem was that it was basically running on empty, using these tiny little data sets. Today's AI, it's completely different. It's supercharged with these massive internet-sized data sets. And that's the secret sauce behind its incredible accuracy. I mean, just think back to trying to use speech recognition on your phone or computer, say, 15 years ago. It was a nightmare, right? So frustrating. The huge jump in quality we've seen wasn't because of some magic new algorithm. Nope. It was because we started feeding the algorithms enormous amounts of data. We're talking thousands and thousands of hours of speech from all kinds of different people with different accents in all sorts of noisy places. The AI just got so much better because it had so many more examples to learn from. And this idea of having diverse data is even more important for something really complex, like a self-driving car, right? It has to learn how to drive by watching millions of miles of real-world driving. It needs to see everything: a kid chasing a ball into the street on a sunny day, a cyclist at dusk when it's pouring rain, a deer jumping out in the middle of the night. The more weird, varied, and different situations it's trained on, the safer and more reliable it's going to be.
Okay, but here's a super important catch. It's not just about how much data you have. The quality of that data is like everything. In the world of AI, there's this one simple rule, this mantra that everyone absolutely lives by.
Garbage in, garbage out. It's as simple as that. If you feed an AI bad data, data that's got errors or is incomplete, or, and this is a big one, reflects our own human biases, well then that fancy complex AI is just going to spit out garbage results. It will learn to be flawed and biased itself. It can't be smarter than the stuff you trained it on.
And believe me, this has serious real-world consequences. There was this famous case where a company built an AI to help them screen job resumes. The problem was they trained it on 10 years of their own hiring data. And that historical data? It was biased against female applicants. So what did the AI do? It learned that bias perfectly and started automatically penalizing resumes from women. The AI was just a perfect mirror, reflecting the ugly biased data it was given.
This is exactly why making good AI fuel is so much like refining crude oil. You can't just pump it straight into the engine. There's a whole process, a pipeline. First, you have to collect all this raw data. Then comes the really hard part. You have to clean it, getting rid of all the errors and trying to filter out the biases. And finally, you have to organize and label it so the AI actually knows what it's looking at. This whole refining process, it's absolutely crucial if you want to build AI that's not just powerful, but also fair and ethical.
And that brings up a really big question. If data is the new oil, and it's this incredibly valuable, refined resource, then we have to ask the same question we asked about oil for 100 years. Who's in control of it all?
Well, the reality is pretty clear. The big tech giants, you know who I'm talking about, Google, Amazon, Meta, they are sitting on mountains of our data, collected from every search, click, and like. This gives them an unbelievable head start in the AI race. It leaves smaller companies and university researchers scrambling for the leftovers.
It's a direct parallel to the last century. Back then, controlling the oil fields made you a global superpower. Today, controlling these massive data sets is what's creating the new power brokers of our time. Make no mistake, access to data has become the single most valuable resource in the world.
But just like oil, this amazing new resource comes with some serious baggage. It's not all progress and innovation. Our endless hunger for more and more data to feed these AIs is forcing us to face some really tough, uncomfortable questions about the real cost of all this progress.
It's a total double-edged sword. On one hand, you have the obvious privacy issues. I mean, what's actually happening to all the personal data we create every single day? Is it safe? Then you've got the problem of sensitive data. Like, how do you build an AI that can diagnose diseases without violating patient privacy? It's a huge challenge. And maybe the biggest question of all is about fairness. All of our data, combined, is creating literally trillions of dollars of value. So, who gets to cash in on that?
Now, it's not all doom and gloom. The good news is there are a lot of really smart people working hard on these problems. You've got things like open data initiatives trying to make data more accessible to everyone, not just the big guys. And there's some incredible research happening in areas like privacy-preserving machine learning, which is a fancy way of saying they're trying to figure out how to train AI without ever looking at the private, raw data itself. So the challenges are huge for sure, but the work to find solutions is already underway.
And that really brings us right back to where we started. Data is the fuel, AI is the engine, and together they are hurtling us into the future at an incredible speed. So the final question, the one we all have to think about, is this. If it's our data that's fueling this whole thing, then who do we want in the driver's seat?